Good day to all my qualifiers. Good day to everybody here watching. Dr. G here. Listen, you are all in for a treat. As I mentioned, we're going to have week after week with just pure, positive, and elaborate content. I can't stress the fact that we've heard for some time. I know a lot of you are online and you're skeptical. You see somebody coming up to you like, hey, my name is such and such, and you see Bitcoin around, or you see crypto. And we've seen this for for some time now. And it's just, for some of us, we're like, okay, what's the scam? What's the catch? Because we've been victims of fraud. We've witnessed people getting, stolen accounts, stolen identity. The list goes on. Well, without further ado, I have none other than a good friend of mine. And when I say good friend of mine, we've known each other since adolescent years. We grew up together. We watched each other grow through life. We watch each other go through challenges and overcome these challenges and still continuously grow. And it's with great pleasure that I present to you all a good friend of mine, my brother, Benedict Clergy. He's here with us, and he's going to, basically talk to us about what's going on in the trade world. Ben, can you tell the folks who you are tonight, and we'll get right to it.
Hey, thank you, man. Like he said, my name is Ben. I'm a tax consultant and also an investor. So I'm definitely excited to talk to you guys tonight and share some light on investing, crypto, the various markets that's available for us to make money, because it's all about making coins these days. So
that's right.
I'm here.
That's right. And without the coins, you can't live that luxury life, that good life.
Yeah, you can't, man. You can't, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, the good looks don't get you so far, and we know that, because after a while, it's like, okay, what do you have to account for it?
That's true.
With that being said, Ben, let the people know what got you into the world of trading, because I know for some years, when you graduated high school, you were more into the mechanical world, hands-on ordeal, and then, just to see how you've evolved into the trading world and all the other facets of business that you actually have going. And you're a success story. If people may not know, and we can discuss this further, but tell us what got you involved in the trading industry.
All right. So as many, of the viewers might be, maybe one of me, I didn't grow up with, parents that was able to give me everything I wanted. So growing up in a household where you find your parents, having 3-4 jobs just to maintain,
wow,
keeping the lights on, putting food on the table, that put a different perspective for you. Whereas you don't want to go through that as you grow up and everything else. So like you said, my passion always been cars. So after high school, I did graduate as an automotive engineer. So I have a bachelor's of automotive engineering.
Right.
So I end up going to work for one of the top manufacturers, which is Lexus. And I found myself working long hours and still coming up short at the end of the month, trying to, pay my bills and support me, myself, and my family and things like that. And then boom, 2008 happened.
Wow.
As everybody knows, the housing market crashed, jobs were laying off people and things like that. So I was one of the people that they laid off after working there for about, I think it was like 6 or 7 years.
Wow.
And gratefully back then, I was already a homeowner. And the mortgage company, as everything collapsed and everything like that, everybody were looking for, refinancing or lowering their mortgage and things like that.
Right.
And I remember the lady told me that, unfortunately, cannot readjust my mortgage based on the current market value, based on my income. And I was like, wow. So she's like, if you were making only $300 more, we would have been able to help you save your home.
300 more.
So
wow.
$300 more a month. $300 more a month. So now it's like, okay, I'm unemployed. Now it looks like I'm probably not going to even have somewhere to live.
Wow.
Just because of my income. So it was then that I decided, I would never let that happen to me again, no matter what I had to do at that point. Whatever challenges came, I was just gonna overcome it. So that particular moment was when I made my decision and changed my that financially, I have to be able to take advantage of those crises, because normally it's when those crises happen that a lot of new journeys involve, ventures and things like that. So that was really it. That was that moment for me.
Right. And it's phenomenal to hear you say this, because whenever there is trials, there is always tribulation. And whenever there's tribulation, there is consolation. Because if your faith and your mindset is in the right place and you overcome these things, there's nothing else that can come in your path that you won't, develop the ability to overcome.
Absolutely.
And you said something profound, that you worked for a company, invested your time, overtime. So it wasn't like you were just doing the typical 9 to 5. That means you were investing your days, your nights, times with your family that you would have had into a company. And when it was time for them to downsize, they let you go. So
the first one out, man.
First one out. And that's the things that's the thing I always want people to understand with working under somebody. Because one gentleman that I worked with years ago, he said something to me that stood and resonated in my head. It resonated to this day. And he said this to me about 7 to 8 years ago. He said, hey, listen, you see the university or the college at the time that I worked for. He said, you see this college? He said, you have a lot of potential, but one thing you need to understand, it's not created to make you a millionaire. So stop operating with that mindset. He said, it's limited. That symposium is just built. These jobs, these 9 to 5 jobs. Now, people, don't get us wrong. We're not telling you to quit today and start
the industry. No, not at all.
You still have provision for your vision. Yeah. So whatever vision you have, just like Ben mentioned, whatever vision you do have, you have to have the provision for the vision. So the profound thing, though, is he said, you have to create and take the risk, or the same risks that the person you're working for took, in order to develop these millions. So tell our viewers tonight, how did you get started? I know that you experienced turmoil, as you mentioned, with the job market and what occurred. We all know 2008 was one of those years that was really challenging. We all know the number 8 means new beginnings. I guess that during that time, it was your new beginning. So how did you get started in or what were the benefits that you would say after getting started in the actual trading industry that, kind of like got you to continuously keep the spark?
Yeah, well, so one thing I understood was we all have 24 hours, right? Mm-hmm. And that 24 hours, a lot of times, 8 out of 10 of it, we're working for somebody. And we still need time to sleep. We still need time to socialize and things like that. And working 8 hours, when you leave that job or you punch out, that money stopped.
Right.
So meaning that, when you go to sleep, until you go back to work, there's no money coming in.
Right.
So one of the first things I did was I researched how to make money while I'm sleeping.
Right.
So I came across investing in the stock market. So from there, I started to do like different researches and things like that. So backtrack to that, I was able to get another job. I ended up getting 2 jobs. Wow. Because I wanted to be sure that if one let me go, I still had another one as a backup. Okay. So I kind of used that to my advantage. That the first job was paying my bills. The second job, I was just saving so I can start investing.
Good.
And it's hard for you to invest when you are in debt. So that's very critical for you to be out of position. The money that you're investing is not the money that you have to pay a credit card, your car note, or your mortgage, because again, investing is a risk just like everything else. So I always tell people that make sure when you start investing, you're not in debt, whereas the money that you just put in, you got to pull it right back out so you can pay somebody. Right. So that was the first thing that I did, was how to make money as I'm asleep. So the first thing that popped up was the stock market. Started to research how to invest in the stock market. And a lot of times the fear that we have, and of course our parents didn't really teach us about investing.
Talk about it,
because they heard that, you put your money in the market, tomorrow you get up, that whole thing could be gone.
Right. So
that was the fear that was implanted, they put in them. And now, they always tell you like, oh, you need a lot of money to start investing. And there's all these these different fees that come with it. So that right there will discourage you to even put $100 into investing. So fast forward a couple of years in, made a lot of mistakes. That's part of, learning.
Absolutely.
And back then, the resources that we have now was not available. Now you could go on YouTube, boom, how to invest, something will pop up.
Right.
But YouTube was not like that back then. So it was just like, hard research, reading and things like that.
Right.
So one of the things that got me through the times whereas I was failing at it was changing my mindset into becoming a better version of myself. Because if you don't know yourself, whenever you encounter like different issues, you're gonna fold and give up, and you're gonna try to jump into something else. But when it comes to trading, it's patience and consistency. So if you have the patience to put the money in and be consistent as always adding money every month into it, knowing that, okay, one day I'll be able to say I have, XYZ amount. That's the key to investing, because a lot of people follows the hype. They hear about this, they jump into it. And when they jump into it, that's when that price was actually coming down. So that money they put in is kind of like almost gone, because now that value went all the way down. So now your money is kind of like, it's in the hole. And this is why people are scared to invest, because you invest at the wrong time just because somebody told you, hey, Uncle Ray called you, hey, you should put your money in this company right there. And the time he told you that, that's when most of the investors was pulling their money out.
Right. So
your money is gone with them.
Right.
So I'd say, investing is one of the key things that changed my life financially. Just to kind of give a quick example, like even if you invest, let's just say you invested $1,000 back in 2011 into Apple. Right now, that same, even if you didn't put any more money, right now that same 1,000 would be almost $12,000 without you putting any more money into it and just let it. So being able to leverage the market to fund the lifestyle that I have now, being able to, travel and do all these different things is amazing. And I never thought, a life like that would be available to me. But being consistent in what I was doing and truly believing in myself and in the system as well, is really what got me here.
Right. And I appreciate you saying that, Ben, because there are so many key points you covered in what you just shared with us. Warren Buffett said that it's important to make money while you sleep. One, you said that. Second thing you mentioned, you were talking about that mindset. That mindset, when it's stuck somewhere, and it's unfortunate, our culture doesn't teach us how to be successful. Our culture, however, our culture, the Haitian culture, teaches you how to just get a degree, or in some cases, the Haitian culture just teaches you how to kind of like take what's given. In our Haitian culture, we just you know what I mean?
Yeah, you get comfortable.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, I say that's right. They just want us to be comfortable and just being stuck in a routine. You get up, you go to work,
right?
And then you come back home. That's it.
A system, and that's the dream you live. But going outside the box, what you did was not only innovative, eclectic, but it makes you a renaissance man, because that's not something that is instilled in our homes. Taking risks, in the biblical term, is faith. And when you don't have that faith, it's hard to get to that place. And as you mentioned, you said living the lifestyle you live, traveling and so forth. But that was profound how you did it in order. None of that took place till you changed your mindset. And the last thing you said that was amazing, Ben, and I think our viewers need to catch on to this. We always take advantage of things when it's too late. So we see what's going on here, and good people, listen. This is information we're going to share with you, because Ben is not only going to continuously provide you more insight moving forward just on this episode, but he's going to go a step further, because he has a community and an actual community and group that he's building and working, where he's going to guide and tutor you and help you become as successful, if not more successful than him, because we believe in progress. And if you apply yourself, as he mentioned, and not wait the last minute, and we as colored folks, I'm not gonna lie to you, we gotta be honest, we're always scared to take risks. And when we finally do, because Uncle Ray Ray, as you said, calls us up, that's when we're like, okay, let's take advantage of this. But I know one thing, I just read this recently. They believe that the trading system industry is the closest thing to wealth. It will close that gap between poor and wealthy folks. And a lot of people are scared of that. That's why that's why a lot of communities are suffering, because people aren't investing. But if people begin to invest, I read this, if people begin to invest, that poor/rich gap will start to close. So it's like investing in something will take a toll on, how, essentially your generations after you, the legacy you leave, and the doors that you're going to open through your positive investment. But first thing first, as you mentioned, that mindset change. Why do you think people are afraid of making these investments? And especially when the prices are low and they can make a low end. Why do you feel, other than the fact that it's a generational thing, what do you think the biggest fear is that you've witnessed?
One of the things that I have encountered is people are skeptical. Like you said before in the beginning, we've been scammed of something.
Right.
In another way that they normally get people is tell you that, okay, if you invest 1,000 today, I promise you at the end of the week, I'll bring you back 10. Right. But at the end of the week, you came back waiting for that money was gone a long time ago. Right. And that same person might have done that to 100 other people. So what happened is our people want things done right away. Right. That immediate gratification. Yes. So they want it now. This is the generation that we living in. Like, I put out $1,000 today, tomorrow I need to wake up and be a millionaire. But in reality, it's not like that. It's not like that. But there is a system that if you follow it, it can get you to that million. It might take you 7 to 10 years, but it'll get you to that million. Right. And I feel like right now we are living in a time that becoming a millionaire is almost like the norm. If you know the right channels to go through, it's almost like the norm. Right. Because, I have, other friends that are way younger than me. I'm talking about early 20s. Wow. That are making, 6-7 figures it's like a normal thing, just following the sequence and the system that was in place and understanding how it works. So now, back in the days, when somebody talk about $100,000, used to be like, wow, used to be like mind blowing because you don't know how to make 100,000. But these days, if you're not talking about making $1 million, it's like, it's the same thing. So the thing that I feel like people are scared because one, they're scared to lose the money. Right. But again, it's a risk. It's a risk. So leaving your money in the bank is a risk because the bank can tell you tomorrow that, of course they'll give you the money back. But even if you leave your money in a CD account, you're not getting anything off of it. Right. What's the percent now? Is it even, I think it went down to like 2 point something. It's not even 3% in most banks. Dude, it's not even 1%. That is crazy. It's not even 1% depends on which account you have in the amount balance that you have in. It's not even 1%. Wow. Versus putting that money in the market. So I have one of that. So I have a private group that I had started just to try it out like a year ago. I have a guy in my group when, I told him buy Tesla a year ago. He was like, all right, he can only invest 10,000. I'm like, dude, by the time you look at that account a year from now, you're gonna be mind blown. I got a call 3 weeks ago. Mm-hmm. It's like, yo, that $10,000 account is now almost at 100,000. Oh my God. Wow. But, you have to be able to, one, take advantage of those opportunities when they come. Two, having the money there, not like, I'm going to pull it out of my kids' saving, my, emergency funds and things like that. You got to have a cushion to invest, knowing that, okay, I'm going to put that money somewhere and I'm not going to look at it for a couple of years.
Right.
So now that same money is gonna work over and over and over again for him.
Right.
And Tesla is one of those companies that is rapidly growing, like at a very, very, very fast pace.
Yeah. No, they're soaring tremendously amongst, I know Tesla's one, Amazon is another. I know some people, because personally I have a few stocks sitting out and I made up in my mind, I'm letting them sit, but definitely looking forward, as I urge all of you to do the same, to connecting with you, because there are some big investments we need to make, because as I was telling a good friend of mine, my firstborn is about to be 17 this Thursday.
Dude.
So, and you were there when she was born. You were there before she was born. So she's about to be 17. So I can't look at her in a year or a year from now. Now she's dual enrolled, which means she's taking college courses as well. So she's practically a college student. I can't look at her and her two siblings and say, when their time comes, hey guys, you know, we tried, we did what we can. And that's the mindset a lot of parents have. We did up to 18 and we're done. No, we have to create that legacy, that foundation, that infrastructure is important for our generation, the next generation, and the generation after, to have that wealth, to have that wealth. So
it's super, super important, man, because investing, let's just say, you know, for me, if my parents knew what I knew now back then, and I always, you know, I tell them that, because like, I remember, like, if back in 97, if they had even invested $1,000 into Amazon, right? Dude, we would have been sitting on over $2 million now.
Easily.
On that $1,000 investment.
Yeah.
So the key thing is always look at your investment for at least 10 years. 10 years from now. If you invest right now, you look 10 years from now. Right. That's really when you're gonna see the growth and the difference in between, that investment. So how do you start investing? A lot of people like, I don't know where to start. How do I get started? Easy. Invest into the things that you use on a daily basis.
Right.
That's what I always encourage. We get up in the morning, we use toothpaste, we use lotion, we use soap. You have Procter & Gamble. They're the one that provide all that stuff. So the same thing that we use on a daily basis. I have an Apple phone, I have a, Mac. I gotta own Apple stocks. Right. Apple stocks are dirt cheap. It's cheaper than buying Jordans.
Right now, especially, I don't know if you know, they tripled my investment on Apple. Last year or earlier this year, I had one stock. They said because of the market crashing or not doing so well economically, they shot me 3 extra stocks of Apple.
Dude,
so you're right.
You can't beat that, man, because owning these companies, they pay you just to own that company every quarter, which is what they call dividends.
Right.
So why not get the free money? You see what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I'm a sneakerhead, man. So I have to invest in Nike. Right. So I'm not just a consumer, but I'm also an investor.
Right.
Whereas, I'm spending money, getting it right back on the back end of things.
Right.
For our Black folks, they like to drink Moet, drink that Hennessy and wear those Louis Vuitton belts. You have to invest in LVMH, man, because you have to own what you're spending your money on. And that's the problem with our community. Anything that we get into, we make it skyrocket. I remember before, Hennessy was not that popular until we started consuming.
Until the rappers started talking about it in their lyrics, and then now we started consuming it.
Yeah, and the price skyrocketed. But I guarantee you, 90% of the people that's drinking Hennessy don't own that stock.
Correct.
So, we have to take advantage of those opportunities, not just being a consumer, because we're known to be the most to consume anything.
Correct.
It can drive prices. Mm-hmm. And I've seen that with, in crypto, with Dogecoin. When our folks found out Dogecoin, everybody started to buy it. That price went up within a week. It shot up almost like 40%.
Crazy.
So, which is huge. So we have to take advantage of those things. So one of the things that, I always tell people, having one income and you have 6 different ways for you to spend it.
That's crazy.
Rent, payment, phone, insurance, it's not the way to go, because you always gonna live paycheck to paycheck until you start investing, so you can have another stream of income.
Right.
That way, that can take a load off the 6 ways. Now, okay, I have some money coming in, I can use that money to pay 3 things, and then my main income, pay other things with it. So that's really the benefit of investing. And I kid you not, man, until I die, I'm gonna be an investor.
Listen, I can't stress enough how elated we are that you came with this information, Ben. And people need to understand the importance of leveraging your income. My father used to say this all the time. All of our people in our community, we're excellent at consuming, but we don't know how to produce. So we need to get into the season while we are approaching the end of this year of 2022, which is the best time for you to come on our show and for people to see you live as we're speaking right now. Yeah. Folks, I'm gonna have Ben give his information to you all, provide you with his information. And Ben, before you even give your information, provide some final recommendations, how they can get in touch with you, because they need to get into this group to make the right investments and understand investments take time. Anything that's good, that's rushed, trust me, it isn't good. So Ben, please provide some final recommendations and how we can get in touch with you so we can definitely benefit from the real ordeal and understand that the trading industry is real if you connect with the right people.
Yeah, that is absolutely right. So I know somebody probably watching right now and say, man, I don't have enough money to buy in each of these companies. So that's why they have something that's called index funds. So index fund is kind of like going to the flea market. When you go to the flea market, you have 20, 30 different vendors under one roof. And it's the same concept for index funds. So you have one of them that's called VOO. So VOO have pretty much all the top major companies. We're talking about Apple, Tesla, Microsoft, Amazon, Facebook, Google, which is pretty much top of the crop. Right. So you can just buy that one index, which is $430, right? But now you invested into 8 to 10 different companies into that just one investment.
Right.
And every year from history, the VOO always been going up. Wow. So that's one of the best recommendations I can, recommend to anybody watching right now. You don't know where to go, you don't know where to start. I'll start with that particular index fund. Whereas, less than $500, you own 7, 8 different companies. So Amazon alone, one stock is almost $3,600.
That's right.
So for you to own a piece of Amazon, Tesla, Apple, Google, that's you can't beat that for that price. Right. So for anybody that wants to connect with me, the community will be launching next month. I can be reached on Instagram, bclerge, so it's BCLERGE, and we have our page, which is Billionaire Trading Clubs, is on Instagram as well. So either one of these pages, you can get connected with me and find out what you need to do to get in the community once we launch it next month.
Awesome. Ben, I can't stress how important the information you provided was life-changing, even for me and our viewers. Please capitalize on these changes. 2021 is coming to an end. We don't know what 2022 has in store for us. We have to remember our children, our legacies, our personal future. Please get in touch with Ben, as he mentioned earlier, and the information was provided as he spoke. Do not let this opportunity slip for you to get in touch with somebody who's an expert, who's not scamming you out of your money, and who's looking out for your best interest, because he has a big heart. And not only that, he's a good man. He's a man of God. He's a man who loves the Lord. And he definitely is a man of the community. So we definitely appreciate you, Ben, for coming on Qualified TV. And we thank each and every one of you who's watching, all of the viewers who's watched this episode and the previous episodes. Just remember that we're providing you constant content, and we're providing you shows that have substance, because we want you to grow. And not only do we want you to grow, we want you to remember that no matter where you've been, no matter where you currently are in your life, you are still qualified to win. Yes. We love you all. Yes. Peace.
Here.
Good day to all my family and friends. Dr. G here. Listen, I can't thank you enough for all of the support, all of the kind words, all of the encouragement you've given us. You all keep me motivated. You all keep us going. Don't forget to visit drgeorgefabre.com. Again, drgeorgefabre.com. You can purchase our merchandise. You can purchase our books. You could even book me for any of your upcoming events. If you want a speaker for any speaking engagement, if you need a host for any of your bar mitzvahs, weddings, any gala, I'm there at your disposal for all of your needs. More importantly, we thank you. Please don't forget to subscribe, like, share our YouTube channel, Qualified Podcast. We thank you and we appreciate you for all that you've done, and we can't say it enough. No matter where you are, no matter what you've been through, this is not a cliche, but we're just reminding you that you are still qualified to win.